Good morning, YouTube, and welcome to my new bike. This is a 2014 Honda CTX700, and as you saw through the gears there, this is not the automatic version. The NC series introduced the automatic dual clutch transmission to Honda's most recent lineup, and they have an NC 750, 700, and a CTX 700 and 700 automatic. So a little bit about the bike. It's 2014. I got it with 1,000 miles on it from Ride Now in Tucson, Arizona. Hadn't even hit the floor yet. They took it in on trade. It was still sitting in the back waiting for them to do their 1,000-point inspection and service. So those of you who tried to look at where I was and tried to look up what their inventory was, you didn't stand a chance. So went with the Honda. I started liking these bikes when I saw Rob and Ian's NCs over there in the UK, and thought to myself, hey, you know what, that might be an inexpensive alternative to the bikes that I've been considering. And lo and behold, it was. And one of the nicer things about it was that I was able to get this bike with only 1,000 miles on it, so it's got a 3-year unlimited mileage warranty for $5,190, and that is like a big deal, because even looking at Triumphs, people just don't sell those bikes. To find a used Triumph around here really takes a lot of work, and you have to be patient. I've been watching the market for the last 2 years, and just not many of them come up for grabs. The Triumphs around here in southern Arizona anyway are the kind of bike that when someone buys, they just keep it forever. They may buy other bikes, but they keep the Triumph forever. So finding a used one was looking pretty thin. I'd looked at the Harleys and the Moto Guzzis, but bottom line was I was going to have to spend somewhere near $8,000 to $10,000 to get the bike. And then it was going to cost extra to outfit it for touring and doing the things that I wanted to do. Well, after researching the NCs, and this CTX came up as part of the family line, I realized that it was a viable alternative, and it was a lot less expensive. So when I came upon this one, already with the saddlebags, already with the extended windscreen, full fairing so you don't get beat up when you're on the road, because around here, if I want to get out and go somewhere, I'm going to have to hit some big roads. And this bike seemed to fit the bill, and it was relatively cheap, and I could still afford to do some additional modifications and accessories to it. So to put everybody's guessing at ease, and thank you all for such a vigorous participation, that was actually, you guys lifted my day. Everybody taking a swing or taking a guess. And I almost let the cat out of the bag a couple of times when I was recording on the infield, my stop up at Ride Now. I almost let the cat out of the bag. I had to go back and chop some words out there. So that was all good. I had to get out today though and do it in all this gloomy weather. It's been raining on and off all week. I rode to work on this bike in the rain. It sticks to the ground like glue. It ran like it was running on a Velcro rail, and so I couldn't bring myself to let the bike sit without riding it just because of the rain. So I went out in the rain and been riding it then. And then in addition to that, I also know that this is Super Bowl weekend, and there's a lot of there's a lot of bad weather expected here. So as you can see across Tucson Valley, it's actually raining over there on the south side of the valley. I don't know how well the GoPro will pick that out. So I wanted to get a quick ride out. This is of course my test road, and the reason I'm on my test road is I'm testing out my first modification, which is an opened up exhaust. So I'll go ahead and post some video footage of the quiet exhaust and me talking about how quiet that exhaust was for you guys to sort of experience it. So coming back from those video clips, you kind of realize this bike is built basically like a vacuum cleaner. I mean, this thing is tight, and it really runs out, but it was so quiet you could not hear what the engine was doing, and this was frustrating to me because it was easily the quietest bike I'd ever been on. Far more quiet than any stock bike that I've ever been on. I just couldn't get over how quiet it was. So I was struggling constantly to figure out what gear I was in, and having to squint and look at this tiny little tachometer that displays in a bar pattern right above the speed on this bike, and that was unsatisfactory. It was getting me to take the eyes off the road, and I would go to downshift for a turn and end up being in too tall of a gear, and it was not a good thing for me. I'm sure I could have gotten used to it, but honestly, I like the report. I like that report a little better, and there's other safety factors, of course. Loud valves are that's a Royal Enfield thing. Loud valves save lives, but loud pipes definitely let people know that you're around. So I'm thoroughly enjoying the bike now. Probably my only other big change is going to be this windscreen. I get a lot of buffeting up at highway speeds, to the point where it shakes my helmet pretty good. So I haven't decided if I wanted to go bigger or just put the stock one back on there, because the stock one is maybe 2 inches tall, which isn't really doing much. But honestly, I'm at the higher speeds, I would rather just deal with the pressure on my helmet than deal with the buffeting. So the smaller helmet is an option. Correction, the smaller glass is an option. However, a taller glass is also an option, as I understand it, the way everybody seems to call it. The manufacturers from the windshield companies all seem to say that the top of the glass should come up between your nose and your eyes. And no, my entire chin is above this thing, so I'm definitely receiving the hardcore buffeting that you're not supposed to. But my only reservation about going with a bigger shield is simply I really don't want the bike to look like I'm a retiree. I'm not ready for that yet. Hondas make fantastic bikes. I could see myself with one of those new Goldwing F6 bikes that they have. Those things are really freaking sharp. They basically have the Goldwing powerhouse and all the attributes of a Goldwing. They're low slung and mean looking, all blacked out. So I could definitely see myself on one of those someday, but I just can't do the old man windscreen at this point. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll put the mystery to rest. Hey, that guy's got a helmet on, helmet cam, GoPro. All right, that's what they're called. Idiot.